Hello, Tennessee. This is Santiago Escanape. As you know, I'm running for governor. I'm running to be the 51st governor of the state of Tennessee. And a governorship is supposed to be historic. It's supposed to make change happen and put things into place of a historic nature. We all want the next governorship to be memorable, to be enjoyable, and that means energy needs to be produced. Economic energy. I've spoken about economic integration, how we need to integrate our economy more effectively. Well, if our economy is integrated effectively, then economic energy will be produced. That's what will make our GDP go higher to something like 7 or 9% if I have my way. But economic energy, how do we produce it? Well, things need to happen in the international fold. We need news events that implicate the international. Because if we sit around and watch CNN like I do, it's like very little that happens is producing energy at the moment. We can sit around and wait for bad news, a mass casualty affair, a mass shooting or something like that. But that's not uplifting. We need events, we need happenings that produce energy that are positive in nature, that are a good thing. So I've been working on, if I'm elected governor, if I'm elected the 51st governor of the state of Tennessee, I've been working on my state dinners and economic summits that correspond with these state dinners where countries visit the state of Tennessee in order to have an economic role and for there to be diplomatic respect, mutually shared and expressed to these countries. I'm inviting these countries to Tennessee so we can have economic energy and a robust economy in the state of Tennessee. If I'm elected governor, China will be coming to Tennessee, Germany will be coming to Tennessee, France will be coming to Tennessee, Canada will be coming to Tennessee, Angola will be coming to Tennessee, and these are all state dinners that I will be hosting at the governor's mansion. And economic summits that last up to 2 weeks for each country will make sure that our GDP is ratcheting up, our economic energy is abundant, and so on and so forth, because we need happenings in the international fold. If we sit around and watch the news, not enough is happening in the international. That's what produces energy. So living in the state of Tennessee, perhaps we just followed the government shutdown. That was a big news story for 42 days. And it was a slow crawl news event. It finally ended. The president's in the doldrums of a second term. He can barely produce energy. Even Trump himself seems to lack energy. We lack economic energy in this country. Now, I'm focused on Tennessee. It would be historic for the state of Tennessee to have any state dinners. And that we have to keep in mind. But me, Santiago Escanape, if I'm the 51st governor, I'm going to have state dinners and economic summits with China, Germany, France, Canada, Angola. And economic energy is going to occur where it's going to be through the roof. And we need things like that to happen so that we can escape the economic malaise of the current state and the current status quo, which is just not all that exciting. Not that much happens. So it'll be a solution that I'm putting in place, and it'll be historic in nature. So we need to vote in November of 2026. The term starts in 2027. We have until 2031. And state dinners and economic summits that last 2 weeks, up to 2 weeks, with the following countries: China, Germany, France, Canada, Angola. They will all be visiting Tennessee. And it's a way to demonstrate diplomatically economic ties with these very important countries. And no one else is doing it. No other governor is doing it. The president's not doing it. Well, Santiago Escanape is going to do it as the 51st governor of the state of Tennessee. So we have a lot to look forward to. We have to stay excited. We have to stay enthusiastic about the opportunity. And we'll see what happens in November of 2026. But Canada was the most recent to sign on. They've agreed to show up in Tennessee only if I'm elected. So state dinners, economic summits with China, Germany, France, Canada, and Angola between 2027 and 2031. The economic summits lasting up to 2 weeks. So that's really going to ratchet up the energy. Economic energy is going to be abundant in the state of Tennessee, and that's direly needed. Thank you very much. I'm Santiago Escanape. Thank you very much for listening, and I very much wish to be your 51st governor so that we can make exciting things happen in terms of our economy, a GDP of 7 to 9%, our infrastructure, state-of-the-art infrastructure throughout all 3 regions of the state of Tennessee, a brand new military base, a brand new armed forces base, a joint Army-Air Force base with headquarters for the Space Force. These are all things that are only possible if Santiago Escanape is elected as the next governor of the state of Tennessee. Vote Santiago Escanape in November of 2026, and we can make all these things happen and much, much more. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful day.